inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage. It don't matter what your age is, all the ages, right here at the Bushwick Book Club.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Bushwick Book Club Seattle presents our 5th annual INKALOUD. 3 authors, 9 musicians, 1 night, and you're here from it. If you're here in the room, thank you for braving wintry Seattle. If you're joining us from home, welcome from the comforts of there. My name is Wes Waddell. I'm the Associate Director of Bushwick Northwest, a 501c3 nonprofit that works to deliver literature, music, and songwriting to the Seattle community while building the next generation of musicians and readers. Thank you. I think it's worth that. Bushwick Book Club Seattle would like to acknowledge that our organization is headquartered and our events take place on the traditional and unceded lands of the Coast Salish people, including the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish. We invite our audiences to learn more about whose land they occupy and suggest native-land.ca as a starting place. If you've never been to one of these events before, our whole premise is original music inspired by the written word. Brand new songs, never before performed from the people who wrote them because they read something, they felt moved because they're human, they got inspired somewhere, and they wrote about it. What makes tonight special is that the authors of the books are here in the room. And we will hear from them as well. First of all, big thanks to our curator, Kristen Miyares-Young. Kristen helped identify the authors that would make for a compelling program, and boy, did she. Our featured authors tonight are Jodi-Ann Burey, author of Authentic, The Myth of Bringing Your Full Self to Work. Lena Khalaf Tuffaha, author of the National Book Award-winning Something About Living. And Rena Priest, author of Positively Uncivilized. Sharing brand new songs inspired by these works are musicians Jess Pillay, Bridget Quigg, Shaun Crawford, Fae Wiedenhoeft, Intisaar, Abdallah, Abde, Elshafei, Cole Clark, Caskey Russell, and Carrie Jennings. Can we give them a round of applause? If you're posting about tonight, feel free to use the hashtag Bushwick Book Club and tag away. I realize I omitted offering a visual description for at-home viewers. I am a 6-foot counting shoes, mid-40s white guy who kept his pandemic facial hair and is wearing his punk rock authors t-shirt. That's Virginia Woolf with the nose ring, front, top center. To get us going, I'd like to invite curator Kristen Miyares-Young up to just share a little bit about herself and the process. Kristen is, I wrote a whole thing, so let's go to that. Kristen Miyares-Young recognizes that to bring ideas into the world is a long journey, and if you want to know who she is, she says, read her work. With a distinguished body of work as a novelist, essayist, journalist, editor, teacher, performer, and mentor, Kristen brings remarkable passion and dedication to every endeavor she undertakes. In 2013, she contributed to a New York Times piece that won the Pulitzer Prize for feature writing, and her 2020 novel, Subduction, prominently featured next to the roller skates on our onstage bookshelf, also received Bushwick treatment that same year, was a staff pick of the Paris Review, and a finalist for 2 International Latino Book Awards. Electric Literature called Subduction one of the year's best books. I call Kristen Miyares-Young one of Seattle's true treasures.
You know, there's something very special about people who do things because of the joy of it. And I really think of the Bushwick Book Club crew as a group of people who do things because it brings joy, because the ways that we come together and change the vibe from inside matters. And I've thought about that a lot recently because of the ongoing series of atrocities happening. How do I marshal any kind of response to this time. And I think actually joy as an act of resistance, togetherness as a refutation of the horrific individualism which is ripping us apart. These are things that matter and can only be kind of reforged in person. I try to connect online, and it hurts my feelings. You know what I mean? I just can't. And tonight, the theme actually was escape. And I was thinking about that when I was reading Jodi-Ann's book, Authentic. She talked about representation and the dangers of representation, because representation acts, she writes, like this foyer that's going to let you into this mansion, but you realize it's a one-room shack, and the foyer is only ever leading you back outside, right to where you began. So there is no escape, right? Just this endlessly circulating loop, which is something that Lena also writes about in Something About Living, the forced repetitions that the Palestinian people have endured to wend their way towards the liberation that they deserve, that we all deserve. And that repetition is something that Rena brings into her work when she's invited to comment on what it's like to be the resident in, a UNESCO space and like writing about the beauty, and you can only ever think in that moment about the peoples to whom this land really belongs. And so I think about literature and what its possibilities are, and I think that the idea of escape it's an interesting allure, because really it invites you into this imaginative practice, and then it delivers you back into your feels. And we all need to stay there. We are being numbed purposefully. There is a massive demoralization project that is architected by predators who should not win this time. But for that, we need to be together. We need to remember each other, that the feels that we have when we're like tagging people online, sorry guys, so sorry. The feels that we have when we are looking at the news by ourselves and putting the phone down, that these are deliberate oppressions that are introduced in our lives to quiet us. And I think that there is something real powerful about deciding not to be quiet, and also deciding to gather and to do so in service of joy, right? So we're going to hear readings tonight that will inspire you. We're going to hear music that is inspired. And my hope is that you will take this moment home with you and, like a little seedling, bring it into your garden, right? And just keep on propagating that seed and remembering that the future is ours, that we may be individuals, but we act as a collective, and that when we choose each other, we can really find a way into the future that feels welcoming and meaningful for all people. So to that end, we're going to begin with, Wes is going to come back on stage to introduce our first reader and the series of musicians who were inspired by her work. And I have to say, it's a real honor to be here after having received the Bushwick treatment, which actually got me into a band, strangely, because Joy Mills wrote a book, or she wrote a song based on my book, and then I sang it with her, and I was like, oh, that's a thing. And then, eventually I joined a band. So these things, these moments, actually do deliver us into a happier future. And so I thank you for being here tonight. And let's welcome Wes back to the stage.
Thank you, Kristen. Let's get to our first author. Jodi-Ann Burey is a writer and critic who works at the intersections of race, culture, and health equity. She also stands out as a Catholic orator, having conducted over 100 keynotes, panels, and interviews, including TEDx. Inspired by her personal journey and professional experience in public health, Jodi-Ann is the creator and host of Black Cancer, a podcast about the lives of people of color through their cancer journeys. Of her book, Authentic, The Myth of Bringing Your Full Self to Work, The Guardian proclaims, Burey's writing is at once lucid and lyrical. She marries intellectual rigor with a tone of kinship, an invitation for readers to lean in, to question, to dissent. Jodi-Ann enjoys snowboarding, oil painting, and prides herself on being a cool auntie and a reluctant dog owner. She was born in Jamaica, lives in Seattle, and will always call New York City home. Jodi-Ann Burey.
Hey, y'all. I am so honored to be here. Honestly, this is such an innovative program, and I have to keep it real with y'all. I keep forgetting that I'm reading tonight because I'm so excited to, one, hear from Rena and Lena especially, and I probably think I'll be sitting here sobbing the whole time to listen to music inspired by my work. So I'm so honored to be here, and thank you so much, Kristen, for including me in the lineup. So I just published this book a couple of months ago. It's called... Thank you. And it's called Authentic, The Myth of Bringing Your Full Self to Work. It's a critical examination of workplace culture that trades on our identities when it is convenient and profitable. And so this section is called The Spectacle of Representation, and the ways that representation, capital R representation, has so many opportunities for us, but it is also a trap, and it can be leveraged against us to keep us complacent and silent. And so there was no better cultural text to have that conversation than Serena Williams, who, you know, as a Black woman and watching her since I was a little girl has been so important to me, and projecting myself onto her, but also realizing that her story is the story of the ways that Black excellence is something that is aspirational, it is attainable, it is everything that I want to be, and it is also something that is incredibly harmful and will never, ever protect us. Just an excerpt. So if you get the book, I encourage you to read this whole chapter because it really means a lot to me, but I'll just read the first couple of pages. The Spectacle of Representation. I learned to play tennis the summer Venus and Serena Williams competed against each other in the 2001 US Open Finals. I was 15 years old. Although I knew little about the Williams sisters, like many Black girls, I marveled over their white, beaded braids draped atop their heads like jeweled crowns. My eyes filled with awe as the sisters soared beneath their weight. That their mother, as mine did, fastened the tips with tiny rubber bands and tin foil. I had no interest in tennis, but this year was different. New York City buzzed in anticipation of the sister-sister match, the first prime-time women's singles final in tennis history. My sisters and I romped about the house, breaking things all summer. We could not lose, no matter who won. As an answer to my mother's prayers, my older sister enrolled us in a community tennis program at the local high school. The 8-mile distance between my neighborhood court and Arthur Ashe Stadium collapsed. My imagination swelled in the summer heat. I grunted like Serena, screamed like Serena. I jumped and twirled at each victorious stroke. I willed my body to fly, net to baseline. My coach taught me how to play. Serena Williams taught me how to be. Bold and unbothered, unbounded and unstoppable, precise and unapologetic. I lobbed my voice and my dreams to the clouds. I watched Serena Williams and witnessed a whole person, joyous and frustrated, playful and focused, incomparable, uncompromising ambition. She secured her legacy as the greatest of all time. This is representation. She won, we won. Despite her greatness, often because of it, media scorned Serena for her body, her clothing, her hair, her voice, her power. That scorn mirrored institutional desire and distaste for my body, my clothing, my hair, my voice, and my power. If it can happen to Serena Williams, it can happen to me. If doctors could ignore Serena Williams, nearly costing her her life during childbirth, why wouldn't it take 3 years to find the tumor growing inside my spinal cord? If audiences could boo Serena Williams for winning, why wouldn't my colleagues nitpick my work? The precarity of Black excellence. This too is representation. In my early 20s, I spent my slim savings on private lessons at the Roosevelt Island Racquet Club near Manhattan's Upper East Side. My hospital window faced its long domed roof. A small cruelty. I spent hours serving angry, longing looks across the East River. Memories of my coach's drill commands faded beneath my physical therapist's gentle remedial instructions. Grip both banisters, shift your weight to the left, lift your right heel, pull your body forward, push up on your toes. It took me 3 days to learn to climb one flight of stairs. I used to play tennis down there, I told my nurse as she helped me back to bed. 2 months later, I returned to work. 2 months after that, Serena returned to play in the 2018 US Open Finals, her first since the birth of her daughter. If Serena could come back, so could I. I grabbed my cane and headed to the gym to watch on the treadmill-powered TV. My feet began to numb 20 minutes into the match. Serena's coach made a hand gesture from his seat. The chair umpire issued a coaching violation, a warning. She walked up to the stand. I don't cheat to win, I'd rather lose. Opinionated. I gripped the handles to offset my weight. Serena threw her racket to the ground and it folded like a napkin. Aggressive. The chair umpire issued a racket abuse violation, point penalty. An ESPN commentator noted that such a penalty was rare in a Grand Slam final. Serena confronted the chair umpire again. I have never cheated in my life. I have a daughter, and I stand by what's right for her, and I have never cheated. You owe me an apology. Her voice cracked. My knees buckled. Serena sat in her sideline chair between sets. She confronted the umpire again, called him a thief. Difficult. The chair umpire issued Serena a verbal abuse violation, game penalty. My heart pounded. I felt exhausted everywhere. Serena appealed to the referee. This is not right. This is not fair. This has happened too many times. There's a lot of men out here that have said a lot of things, but because they're men, that doesn't happen to them. Because I'm a woman, you're going to take this away from me? That's not right. She lowered her eyes and pursed her lips. I lowered the treadmill speed to a crawl and straddled the belt. She lost. We lost. Tears rolled down her face and mine. A spectacle of pain. As a child, I played in Serena's power, hoping one day to wield its full force. Not until adulthood did I understand why Black women needed so much. I've watched online video clips of this match many times over the years. The last time I typed Serena US Open 2018 in the search bar, YouTube listed these auto-generated search options. Serena US Open 2018 meltdown. Serena Williams US Open 2018 outburst. Serena Williams US Open 2018 drama. I felt exhausted all over again. suffocating in the little room Black women have to be sad. I chose meltdown because that's what happens when delicate treasures burn. Thank you.
Thank you, Jodi-Ann. On to the music. Our first performer tonight is Jess Pillay. Jess Pillay is a multifaceted musician and creative whose pop fusion sound incorporates elements of folk, blues, rock, funk, and jazz to create an eclectic soundscape for audiences of all kinds. Jess often writes introspective ballads that explore themes like grief and loss, systemic injustice, and the messy, ever-changing nature of relationships, all sonically anchored by her soulful alto voice. Jess has joined us in the past for original music inspired by Charlotte's Web, Fahrenheit 451, I Sing the Salmon Home, edited by Rena Priest, and our partnership with Seattle Arts and Lectures. Jess Pillay.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be back at Bushwick. I'm so excited to be here tonight and to share this song. This book came into my life at kind of the perfect moment because back in March, I was laid off from a job that I had for nearly 14 years, a predominantly white institution where I spent a lot of years trying to fit the mold and trying to, limit myself, and it often felt like a cage. And I still did it because I thought I have to stay here, I have to earn a living, all these things, the security. I'm the daughter of immigrants, and so financial security is like a big thing for us a lot of times. And so I stayed and let them kind of walk all over me in a lot of ways, thinking if I just play the part, if I just do this right, if I just do that right, I'll be fine, they'll want me. Only to realize that I was so disposable after so many years. And so this song, after I read the book, so many of the themes in the book really resonated with me, and just this idea of belonging and what does real belonging mean. And, throughout my 14 years, there were a lot of times where I thought about, where should I go? What if I left? What would that look like? And so this song is kind of a love letter to a younger version of myself. And it's also a love letter to all the BIPOC women out there who might be feeling the same struggle. You're staying in, whether it's a job, a relationship, whatever it is, where you don't get to be your true, authentic self. I hope this inspires you to let go of those places and take up the space that you deserve to take up. So the song is called Breakaway. No volume on the keys. Okay.
Oh, that was the one we picked.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man.
Sure. Yeah. So sorry about that. There we go. Everything that I feared, I'm watching it all come true. If only you would realize what effect this has on you. They don't see you when you cry. They don't care that you're bleeding yourself dry.
'Cause the road that you're on is wearing you down. And I know that you feel so alone. So take control and break away. All the pain that you feel from watching it all fall through. If only you would realize all the dreams they stole from you. 'Cause they don't see you when you cry. They don't care that you're bleeding yourself dry. So it's time that you find your way out. 'Cause the road that you're on is wearing you down. And I know that you feel so alone. So take control and break away. Break away. 'Cause all they're gonna do is take and take. I know you really wanna break away, break away, break away. I know you really wanna break away. You're gonna make it if you leave this place. Break away.
Thank you so much.
Jess Pillay. Up next is Bridget Quigg. Bridget Quigg is a comedian, songwriter, and intuition coach. That is a thing. That's what she wrote for me. She runs a quarterly comedy show called Quiggy Comedy Hour right here on Capitol Hill. Bridget loves all of the creative energy Bushwick brings forth and hopes you are enjoying the show. Keep reading. Bridget has joined us in the past for original music inspired by The Outsiders, Horton Hears a Who, Pride and Prejudice, The Handmaid's Tale, The Shining, Anne of Green Gables, and more. Bridget Quigg.
Thank you, Wes. Hi, everyone. Jeff, you're a tall 6 foot. Let me see if I can bring this down a little. Very good. You did great. We had a good conversation. It was very helpful. All right. Hi. Total honor to be here, Jodi-Ann. Great to hear you do that live. I'll be honest, I listened to your book as well as did the reading, and because I found that the listening, okay, you get it. It was very impactful. Because Jodi-Ann's writing reads like poetry so often. It has a lot of music and it's very lyrical. There's these lists that she nails and brings to the surface all this stuff. And so hearing you say it was beautiful. And I actually had one of my favorite lines I brought. Just like incredible grasp of English. Let's just round it up with that. So we've all had the moments where we laugh, even though because something's not right. So we're not actually agreeing, we're uncomfortable. Listen to this. She says, "What is a laugh but the debris of suppressed emotion?" Right? Oh my God, I had to write that down. So I slogged it out downtown in corporate jobs for 17 years, worked a lot of startups, had wacky bosses. I was remembering one who had narcolepsy, and no offense, because I get it that it's a condition, I'm not trying to pick on him. But this is back when you used to ride horses to work on the internet, like this is really early. And thank you. Somebody got that. And we would hand place ads on our website. It was a new thing, putting ads on a website. So I had two bosses, both of whom were terrifying, let's be honest. Not big into thank you or I'm sorry. Those two words, those things didn't happen. But he would be trying to tell me about the ads. And he always had a 6-shot iced coffee he was doing this with. He was a smoker, so he talked like this. Bridget, we got some new ads, you know. And then he would be telling me about he'd literally fall asleep during the conversation. So just little things like that. You're just like, I don't even know what to do right now. So I went, and that was back when we didn't have laptops, really. She just went back to your desk and waited for him to wake up. I don't know. There's just so many stories. A lot of stuff came up while I was reading your book. But as Wes so kindly pointed out, I do. I have developed a whole series of classes on developing your intuition. It's one of my favorite topics. I don't have any real light. Let me see. I've practiced this song a ton, and yet, like Jodi, I love words. Jodi-Ann, I love words, and I have a lot. So this line inspired my song. I've got it. Okay. Speaking of what I would say intuition, but I don't remember the exact lead-in, but it's being able to listen to your inner voice and be aligned in your life with that voice, your values, your beliefs, and who you are meant to be in the world. I love that. I'm a big inner voice fan. I believe we all have one, and the more we relate to it and practice relating to it, a lot of things go better. And when stuff is hard, we have somewhere to go, and we can ask ourselves, you know, what would work? Okay, officially, I'm not probably gonna be able to read this, but oh well. Just work with me. If I say line, I'll just give me a moment. I'll find. Maybe I should have someone else read it. Okay. Authenticity, elusive every day. I search for ways to find it. Underneath my skin, my soul's life begins. The answers in every moment. Carving out a way to validate my intuition. Oh, to say this is mine and I am fine, and I'm gonna claim it. Authenticity, to be deeply free and living in my alignment. Lonely clarity and bravery outside the mainstream. My truest friend right in the end, my greatest teacher. Oh, it may look strange, it's not from my brain, but it's how I feel most sane. Oh. Witness is my purity, kind to my heart, honest from the start, thing inside of my dream. Being unafraid, these things unpaid, so valuable to me. It won't walk away, I sit and I stay, and I let it all be. Authenticity, always calling with each clue you send me. To feel the day blow doubt away, it is my heart you are mending. Giving all I am to all I am, moment to moment. Oh, in this great world, can't rule this girl, and I know it. Thank you.
Bridget Quigg.
Thank you.
Bridget's next Quiggy Comedy Hour is January 25th at Ada's Lab right here on Capitol Hill, just a few blocks that way. If you're in the room at home, listeners, you should find out how to get there from Google, because that doesn't help you. And if you think to yourself, that's great, I probably want to go to that, but with 2 authors and 10 musicians still to go, I'm not going to remember that. We keep a digital program for every one of these shows we do. We're going to throw the QR code up here on the screen right now. Hopefully the link will show up in the chat, bit.ly/ink25-PGM program. There it is. We have links to all of the authors and the musicians if you want to follow them in the places they ask to be followed, or better yet, sign up for their email lists because they own those. This is Shaun Crawford. Shaun Crawford is a singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist, originally from Dallas, Texas. He plays in some of Seattle's most beloved acts, and you've probably seen him before. He has joined us in the past for original music inspired by Charlotte's Web, I Sing the Salmon Home, editor Rena Priest, band Picture Books, and our partnerships with Jack Straw Cultural Center and Seattle Arts and Lectures. Shaun Crawford.
Whew. Y'all know how to make a kid from the South blush. I really appreciate it. Oh, man. So a visual I'll give for folks that might need it. I feel like it's appropriate to say, for some, I might look like the perfect second-round draft pick for a lineman for your Seattle Seahawks. And unfortunately for others, I look like the perfect reason to go on the other side of the street when you see me late at night. Yeah, I got dark real quick. I remember when I got asked to do the gig, and I was really excited because I was like, oh, you know, this is, timing comes up again because it has now been 6 years since I've moved up here from Dallas, and I remember, Jodi-Ann, is that correct? All right, thank you for that. I remember when starting the book and kind of getting this feeling of, uh-oh. I know this feeling all too well of trying to tell people, you know, what would make me more comfortable or what my experience is with them, and just being told, you're fine. Everything's great, you know, or, you know, whenever you're this size and have to shrink yourself to being docile, it's really easy to default to the whole, like, I'm just gonna be kind and hopefully nothing ever pops off, when really deep inside of you, you really just want to slap the hell out of everyone within a 5-mile radius. And so I got to just certain points of the book, and I was just like, oh, I'm terrible with details, unfortunately. But I just, every time I came across a line, I was like, oh, I remember where I was when I felt this exact feeling. And so I hope this song is representative of the message that you are trying to convey. And hopefully this stays in 440. There we go. You tighten up every time. I have a thing to say beyond a cordial reply. And it's funny how you choose to dance around the root of all the pain you put me through. You can spin your webs, lies of lines often told, but nothing in these walls tell me you're someone I can trust. How's about you start that in a word? before you shut me out with your mind full of worms. You tell me to fly just to see me soar. Clip my wings and thrust me out. The me you had in mind is not the one at your door, causing you discomfort with my story. How could we start something new when you won't drop the act, as if all I ever do is kill the mood and criticize, when all I'm trying to do is bring my truth to the light? Do I shout or do I burst into tears? Or must I pass away before you even care to hear about all the ways you do me dirt? Now it's time and you try to claim you're heard. You tell me to fly just to see me soar. Clip my wings and thrust me out. The me you had in mind is now sitting at your door, causing you discomfort with my story.
Shaun Crawford. All right, let's bring up our second reader of the evening. Lena Khalaf Tuffaha is a poet, essayist, and translator. She is the author of 3 books of poetry, including Something About Living, winner of the 2024 National Book Award and the 2022 Akron Prize for Poetry. Lena spent 10 years working with journalists and editors as a volunteer for Seattle's Arab American community organizations, helping to tell the stories of people living between 2 homelands, who speak in translation and who navigate the realities of long wars. Born in Seattle and raised in Saudi Arabia and Jordan, she has lived the experience of the first-generation American, immigrant, and expatriate. Lena is passionate about a free Palestine, the perfect cup of coffee, poetry, language, and gardening. Lena Khalaf Tuffaha.
Thank you. Just making sure there was an appropriate short person adjustment. Very important. This is amazing. I think collaboration among artists is one of the most beautiful things in the world, and this just feels like a massive love fest to art and to the relationships that we build with each other through art. So thank you to everyone who made tonight possible. I'm just really overwhelmed. Mentioned gardening in my bio, and I want to say that I'm wearing this necklace, which is made of these red poppy flowers. And in my culture, in Palestinian culture, the red poppy symbolizes all of our martyrs. On the hills of Palestine, like in many Mediterranean places, these flowers grow wild in the spring. So you can see kind of swaths of red in March and April, streaked across hillsides. It's beautiful and really moving to think about what they have come to mean over decades and centuries to the people who are native to that land. And one of the ways I've been thinking about the grief of this time of this genocide time that we're living is that we are sort of surrounded by these gardens of people we've lost. So that there's more than one way to think about that flower, right? I say that not to bring down the mood, as it were, but because I think one of the most important things an artist must do is to insist on the truth. And I learned that from many artists who I respect and admire, chief among them the great American poet June Jordan, who is a beacon and a light in my literary education. And I spent a lot of time thinking about June and reading her work by myself, because nobody ever taught me any June Jordan poems in any of the classrooms I was in. I had to find her accidentally and by myself. But that's fine, because June and I have been having a terrific conversation ever since. June, in the year of our Lord, 1982, when the Israeli occupation forces invaded and besieged the city of Beirut and ransacked it and drove Palestinian resistance fighters out, literally onto boats in the sea. Sound familiar? June was one of, like maybe no other, I don't think there was another American poet really who wrote about that in her magnificent book, Living Room. And there are multiple poems, but the one specifically that lodged in my heart the first time I read it was Moving Toward Home, in which she says, I was born a black woman and I am become a Palestinian. It is time to make our way home. So that's a little bit about how the poem Letter to June Jordan in September came to be, and I'll start with that. Letter to June Jordan in September. I cannot pass the anniversary of that first news event of childhood without returning to your poem. How from my house I watched, and watched my grief-stricken parents unable to speak. How I leaned into the screen, the chords of the cries, searching for what was recognizable of fingers and thighs, of bracelets and mustaches, macabre arrangement of bodies with names like our own. I cannot pass without your words. Something about witnessing twice removed, about distances magnified by the shift into language, of dailiness and my own children's vernacular, and the machine grinding us all in its jaws. I met a girl from the camp at a reading in Beirut. She asked if we could talk about the life of poetry. Our families are hauled off to the world of the dead, and every day it is on screen. In Gaza, we're watching Ferguson, and in Atlanta, we're watching Jerusalem, watching Minneapolis, watching. Their weapons and their training programs indistinguishable. The word almost flickers for a nanosecond. Here, I note the shelf life of self-censorship, legacy of our era. Some days, poems are scrawled on pieces of cardboard and carried on our shoulders at the protest like martyrs. Here, I should say something about hope. Here, I should say something about living. Thank you, thank you. Now I'll just do two more. I'm gonna do one that I don't think I've read before. Exciting. This is sort of a, you know how like you can have a quirky cousin or a quirky child? This is the quirky cousin poem. She's just her own, I don't know, she's an interesting thing. A couple things about this poem. The word for bougainvillea in Arabic is majnoune, which means crazy woman. Unpack that for hours. days, whatever. And the Majnoune that I most often would see when I would visit either Palestine or Amman, where my grandparents' home is, I mean, it grows everywhere, but especially on the drive down to the Dead Sea. It's a beautiful, very stark landscape, and that area is where a lot of citrus fruit groves are, and there are these kind of limestone homes with these bright, beautiful bougainvilleas exploding on the walls there. And I note also that the Dead Sea, which is this mineral-rich, incredible natural wonder, on the Jordanian side is disappearing. And it's not because of climate change. It's because of the Israelis stealing the water from the Dead Sea. So those are two little things that you might need to know for this poem. Madwoman Ghazal. It is true we named our own sea dead, but in the houses nearby, the bougainvillea flourishes. On the shore, we call this marvel Majnoune. The sea is a body keening, glistening in sunlit flourishes. The tree loosening long branches over the wall is always a woman. In the sea's azure declination, a mineral kingdom flourishes. Sulfur sorrow, fishless stillness is our sea. Around the tree, the desert unfolds in sweltering flourishes. In midday, our sea is a silver tray, salt-crusted. In midday, the Majnoune pulses with Apian flourishes. Middle ground, mirror glass, is our sea. Dry as paper lanterns, the fuchsia blossoms flourish. A missive from what survives us, our vanishing sea. Names climb the wall and evaporate in whispered flourishes. From a distance, the network of veins, lines in elaborate display are invisible. The walls nest beneath bright clusters in cascading flourishes. And do your leathered hands darken to the color of this earth? Inkpots and weathered scrolls rely on this leaden air to flourish. All madness is conjecture. A shepherd stumbling upon sacred verses. The sea is ringed by a story told with fiery flourishes. Majnoune is obstinate charm, is love a flame. Speak salt, and let them decide the landscape where memory flourishes. Thank you. And I'll end with, like maybe a little bit of anger. I think that might be appropriate. So this was just a poem I wrote with Edward Said in mind, one of my heroes. But I have come, when I read it these days, I think of myself as pointing it at whatever politician is most pissing me off right now. And this week's award winner is Hillary Clinton. Jeez, oh my God, what is her problem? Yeah, I know we have a set of villains we're focused on at the moment, but I just want everybody to remember that the Democrats first started this genocide. And then before the genocide was the slow genocide, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, today I point this at the likes of Hillary Clinton. To be self-evident, after Edward Said. Every empire tells its subjects a story of revelation. The trees let down their aging leaves, listless in late drought. The children thrive on filtration, their classroom air and their selfies sanitized. Every empire seems invincible as its borders submerge, its manicured hillsides incinerate between guaranteed next-day deliveries. Every empire eulogizes its value system, splurges for pyrotechnics, decorates its mausoleums for the holidays. Every empire turns against its colonies, cradling the embassy's crystal in bubble wrap, packing extra treats for the dogs on the evacuation flight home. Every empire promises a revolution against itself. The children are tasked with designing the future, growing walls of hydroponic greens, rebranding old protest anthems. Every empire denies the iceberg it crashes into, hires a chorus, funds the arts. Every empire sings itself a lullaby. Thank you.
Lena, Khalaf, Tuffaha. I'm here to share the first song of the evening inspired by Something About Living is Fae Wiedenhoeft, an award-winning singer-songwriter and classically trained vocalist who was hired to play Celtic music in Canada at age 23 and has been a professional musician ever since. She tours regularly and has played in 10 countries solo and with her band Sea Star. Fae has recorded over 24 albums and teaches voice, guitar, ukulele, and songwriting. Sea Star's latest album, released this year, is called The In-Between. Fae has joined us in the past for original music inspired by Fahrenheit 451, When the Elephants Dance, Where the Crawdads Sing, Anne of Green Gables, and the works of Beverly Cleary. Fae Wiedenhoeft.
Thank you. Hi. Wow. Lena, thank you for reading. It was so beautiful. And To Be Self-Evident was a very important poem for me. Full disclosure, I wrote 4 songs for this, but I'm only doing 1. Because things happen, for the visuals, for people who cannot see me, I am a tall, curly-haired white woman, and someone who has not experienced firsthand the things that have gone on in the world. But what I thought about with that poem, the line about the children having sanitized classrooms and things like that, thinking about where we come from and how we see the world. And I just wanted it to be real. My voice inspired from this book of things that were incredibly emotional, I can't even talk about it, I'm just so verklempt, for lack of better words. However, the beauty of the language in which she chose to write her poems and to tell her story through using words to create visuals in a way that it was gorgeous. And I wanted to make sure that I did right by it, but also stay humble. So the first 3 songs I threw away, because it wasn't about me. And then I thought about, I teach kids and I teach grown-ups, but I was thinking about how would my students approach this? And a line came to me, where do all the voices go that cry out at night? And that came to me on Wednesday between classes. And I just wrote a song within 20 minutes, and this is the song. It has a lot of repetition, like the book. You used several phrases over and over again within the book for poignancy and to remember, are we listening, are we seeing, are we hearing, do you see what's happening? Importance. And anyway, it doesn't really have a title, this song, so here it goes.
Why do all the voices go that cry out at night? Do they get caught by the stars, come back as rainbows light, or maybe lost in twilight's kiss and found in the fresh dew of the day? Please tell me,
something good comes from the pain. Another story, another state, another school shooting trend. Another mother reaches for hope. Another kid loses a friend. Another family torn apart. Another day for tears to fall. Another face and hands trying to make sense of it all. So where do all the voices go that cry out at night? Do they get caught by the stars, come back as rainbows light, or maybe lost in twilight's kiss and found in the fresh dew of the day? Please tell me something good comes from the pain. Another bomb, another day at war, another child slowly dies. Another village ripped to shreds, another White House lie, another prayer for humanity, another death toll on the rise, another poor decisions made for the sake of allies. So where do all the voices go that cry out at night? Do they get caught by the stars, come back as rainbows light, or maybe lost in twilight's kiss and found in the fresh dew of the day? Please tell me something good comes from the pain. Just tell me something good comes from the pain. Thanks. Since the election, I've become a crocheter, and I've crocheted a bunch of flowers to give away tonight. So there's my card, and there are little crocheted flowers. Please take one if you like. I don't have enough for everyone, but if you can, go ahead and grab one. And thanks very much. Thank you.
Fae Wiedenhoeft. Our next performer joins us via video. Very much wanted to be here tonight, but the calendar conspired against. But very happy to have a song from Intisaar. Intisaar is a Palestinian-American singer, songwriter, and philanthropist. She founded the fundraiser series Radio Gaza in November 2024 and continues to combine her love of music, event planning, and Palestine to bring awareness and aid to the Palestinian cause. She also performs regularly with a three-piece band and is recording a new EP. Has joined us in the past for original music inspired by Dune and the Midnight Library. And she asked me to read this by way of an introduction before we show the video. I was honored to be given the opportunity to compose a song inspired by Something About Living by Lena Khalaf Tuffaha. Her poems are raw, earnest, and heart-wrenching. I wanted to convey her frankness and her refusal to sugarcoat the truth with this composition. As a Palestinian and an American, witnessing the destruction of my people and knowing that it is being funded by my own tax dollars gives way to so much inner conflict. Lena's poetry externalizes some of this anguish and sheds light on the reality of modern-day genocide. Intisaar. Intisaar will be back in town next week performing with a full band at Coco Legato on December 13th and also curating a Radio Gaza event at the Black and Tan Hall with a full band on January 24th. We got one more song, then we're going to take an intermission. We hope that you'll visit the tables. We have information about our organization, merchandise from the artists, and of course, books from our authors tonight. I'm sure Jason at the bar would also love to chat with you while you're making a purchase. And another thing that you can do is you could add your name to a silent auction for this poster. It is our show artwork designed by Barbie Statman, who's doing all of our Escape Plan season artwork. And this has been signed by all of the participants in tonight's show. So that's another way you can support the organization. We are a member-supported organization. We are a grant-funded organization. We are an arts organization doing our best, just like all of them out there right now. And we'd be happy for your support. Thank you. It is, of course, the most wonderful time of the year. So if you're doing math before January 1st, keep us in mind. Coming up next, we have our first Bushwick first-timer of the evening. It's actually... Yeah. It's actually first-timers the rest of the way from here on, which is really special. This is Abdallah Abde Elshafei, who was born in Pullman, Washington, to Patty Elshafei of Wenatchee, Washington, and Harbi Elshafei of Gaza, Palestine. Abde is a fourth-grade teacher in Leavenworth, Washington, where he often plays banjo for his students. He and his wife, Madeline, are, some say, obsessively dedicated to their two cats, Jojo and Duza. Fun fact, Abde is not the only person on this stage at this moment from the town of Pullman, Washington. And in the summer of 1996, his family house sat for my family when we went to the Olympics in Atlanta, and my goldfish were never the same.
I'm so sorry about the goldfish. It's one of my saddest moments.
Abde Elshafei.
Wow. What an introduction. Thank you, Wes. Well, it really is an honor to be here. Thank you all so much. Thank you to Bushwicks. Thank you so much to Lena. For those who are listening, I am wearing a black t-shirt. It reads ceasefire in Arabic and Hebrew and English. I'm also wearing a kafia, which is the traditional black and white Palestinian scarf draped over my shoulders. Today I'm performing a song that I wrote, which is inspired by the poems of Lena Khalaf, Tuffaha, and from her book, Something About Living. Now, when I first started reading Lena's book, I began folding the corners of the pages, flagging the poems that really spoke to me. I usually don't do this with my books, but for the purpose of this project, I wanted to be able to easily reference those poems. By the time I finished the book, I had folded so many pages that the book was accordioned out at the top as though it were stuffed with tiny handmade kites. Every verse of my song is inspired by a different poem in Lena's book. Verse 1 is inspired by letters to June Jordan in September, which Lena read for us tonight. Verse 2 is inspired by variations on a last chance. And verse 3 is inspired by Makluba. My song is entitled Shattered Glass, and just a note on the lyrics, Palestine is how you say Palestine in Arabic. Thank you.
Ceasefire now, free Palestine. Kim Schreier doesn't care about the Palestinian child. A 3x4 foot handmade made flag. These were our first rally signs. Salam, my friends, no one is listening. Why aren't you screaming like me? Why aren't you calling our leaders? Have you seen the bodies, parts of human beings? Why aren't you calling our leaders? Have you seen the children, tiny parts of human beings? Shattered glass, shattered dreams, broken bones and broken wings. The songbird sits too tired to sing in her home in Palestine. The songbird sits too tired to sing in her home in Palestine. The sniper sits on the hill where our grandparents used to dwell, protected by a wall of hate and the entire United States. The sniper scope, trained and cold, gazes upon the city below. A small child with a flag, the sniper's bullet and a grave. A small child with a flag, the sniper's bullet and a grave. What once was up now is down. Homes of rubble strewn on the ground. We flip our pot, turn it upside down, pass the plates around. We flip our pot of seasoned rice, cauliflower and kidra spice. Israel steals our land, they steal our food, but they can't steal our samud. Israel steals our land, they steal our food, but they can't steal our samud. Shattered glass, shattered dreams, broken bones and broken wings. The songbird sits too tired to sing in her home in Palestine. The songbird sits too tired to sing in her tent in Palestine. From the river to the sea, Palestine, she will be free. From the river to the sea, free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea, free, free Palestine.
Thank you. Thank you. And if you would, I would love to ask all of you to contact your elected representatives, your senators and representatives, and demand an arms embargo on Israel now. Thank you. Free Palestine.
Abde Elshafei. Welcome to the club. We're going to take a short intermission. We have one more author and 3 more songs to go on our INKALOUD evening. Please visit with us and or the bar during this time. Thank you for being here.
Inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage. It don't matter what your age is, all the ages, right here at the Bushwick Book Club. Inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage. It don't matter what your age is, all the ages, right here at the Bushwick Book Club.
This rabbit hole, we go tumbling, we go falling down, down this rabbit hole, we go seeking, we go looking for home. Steps aside as my head it bends in the wind. I smoke your jokes and I'm laughing like a girl. I go riding on your riddles and your pearls, your riddles and your pearls. This world, just a chore of playing along. Like I don't see the mystery and the song. What am I worrying about? We're coming like a whisper and we're born into a shout. Our voices, they carry on and on. This rabbit hole, we go falling, we go looking for home.
I've been abducted, beat up, insulted, crashed an airplane, landed on my head, almost killed me dead, man. Then had my wife die on the way to be by my side. She got the carbon monoxide, man. Pissing in a can, shitting in a bucket, no food, 1 month sleep, standing up, fuck it. I was there, barely alive. Slaughterhouse 5, 130,000 souls lost in the blink of an eye. That ain't bad. That's nothing. You think that's bad? That ain't bad. That's nothing. That ain't bad. Ooh, that ain't bad, no. Ooh, you think that's bad? Well, that ain't bad. That's nothing. I seen the flesh of 2 lovely young girls undressed and boiled alive. I've seen the blood of the innocent all over the wall for no reason at all. I've seen men digging graves for men, some turned into candle wax and ink for my pen jack. People losing everything they had, no food like 2 months or so. My daughter put me in a mental institution, got shot in the head for no reason at all. That ain't bad. That's nothing. Man, you think that's bad? That ain't bad. That's nothing. That ain't bad. Ooh, that ain't bad now. Ooh, you think that's bad? That ain't bad. That's nothing.
Dutch girls are pretty, Dutch girls are beautiful, Dutch girls are skinny, drape themselves in wonderful clothes that look expensive, clothes that look like nothing I've ever seen. And Dutch girls are funny, but only when they wanna be. Dutch girls are cagey, won't be who you want them to be. They'll drive you crazy, or they'll make you wonder just who you are and what you're doing with a Dutch girl. Oh, I wanna be a Dutch girl, but I won't make you wait, I won't make you wonder, I will make you breakfast and I won't drag you under, I will make you happy, I will make you crazy, I will take you tonight, I won't you be my baby tonight, just for a night. And Dutch girls are pretty, oh aren't they beautiful, speak a million languages, not the one that you know, and I will speak your language, I will speak it slowly, I will make you understand where I'm going, and I will make you wait, I will make you wonder, I will make you breakfast and I won't drag you under, I will make you happy, I will make you crazy, I will make you split it, oh won't you be my baby tonight, just for tonight. Well, I wish I was a Dutch girl, Dutch girl, Dutch girl, Dutch girl. I'm a Dutch girl, Dutch girl. Wish I was a Dutch girl.
wise men once said, the man must learn to bear a certain portion of uncertainty. And you were aging, and the war was raging, and darkness was reaching across the seas. As Uncle Sam came to you calling, did you know what you give them? Oh, God help you. God help you, you old man. Was it like a puzzle when you were little? Did you know the game you were playing? And was it worth the trouble as the secrets double in the race to win history? Oh, God help you. God help you, you old man. You stole the fire from the sun, but you never questioned what you've done. God help you. God help you, you old man.
Choice now, survival of a family, with a Benjamin stuffed in a maxi pad, and it goes through the lies war wages on, pushing through all of our families. The blood drifts down and soaks our dancing toes, and it goes on, and it grows strong, and it goes on, and you stay strong, but not for long, 'cause it runs on and on. Shake it back!
Hey Robin, let's go out tonight. Hit Gotham and find a fight. Hey Batman, yeah, that sounds real great. My homework's done and it's not too late. Alfred, you can back us up. We're gonna need the monster truck. Hey Batman, hey Robin, we'll find mutants and F them up. I am haunted by a bat with breath that smells really bad. My parents were killed on the street by douchebags I'd like to meet. And kill them, kill them, kill them. Yes, I'd shred them into little bits. Then maybe I could rest at night, stop all these depressive fits. I'm not sure how I got assigned to a life of fighting crime. Good thing I am rich and buff, and I have plenty of time. I am Batman and it's understood. I am all up in this hood, stopping thieves in the act, launching secret aerial attacks. Robin is only 13, I'm not sure if she's menstruating. Why couldn't she been hot and older, perfect for when nights get colder? If I were to rewrite this book, I'd give that deal a second look. For now it's nice she'll carry on, crime fighting when Batman is gone.
Inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage. It don't matter what your age is, all the rages, right here at the Bushwick Book Club.
All right. Hope you had a good intermission. Nice to visit with some of you here in the room. Those of you at home, hope you've made it to your fridge and back. Okay? This is normally the time during a Bushwick show, right after intermission, where we would have the Bushwick Quiz, a Bushwick tradition since 2012. However, given the number of readers and musicians tonight, we're going to move along without a full and proper quiz. But I do want to just offer a taste, if you're new to the quiz. Every show, the quiz, reading the book or books will not help you. But you get a chance to come up here and win something. Everything is category A or category B, so I'm going to reprise a couple from last year's INKALOUD quiz, which was just squid or cat. You know, squids produce ink. That's my connection there. So I'm gonna tell you a species name and you or breed, and you tell me if it's a squid or a cat. It's very simple. Whiplash. Yeah, it's a squid. It's a family of small, deep sea squids. All right. How about California spangled? Yeah, it's a cat. It's Abyssinian crossed with an American shorthair crossed with a British shorthair. All right. How about Bush Club? It's in fact, I appreciate the last wordingness that's happening in here. It's in fact a squid. It's rare. It's found in Antarctic waters. Yeah. This will be good. This in honor of Bushwick Executive Director Jeff Larson. How about Jeffrey's squid? It's actually a cat. Well, yeah. Flat-headed. That's a cat. Right? Yeah, somebody did that. Vampire. Yeah, it has bioluminescent organs. Okay. All right. And stubby hook. It's a squid. That's oval fins. Anyway, thanks for playing the Bushwick Quiz. Let's bring up our next reader. Rena Priest is an enrolled member of the Lummi Nation. She is the recipient of numerous awards and fellowships, including the 2024 Washington State Book Award, the 2020 Allied Arts Foundation Professional Poets Award, and the 2018 American Book Award. From 2021 to 2023, she served as the 6th Washington State Poet Laureate, during which time she edited the anthology I Sing the Salmon Home, Poems from Washington State, a highlight of Bushwick's 14th Mainstage season when everything was animal-themed. From 2021 to 2024, she periodically toured the country as part of an all-indigenous ensemble in a show called Welcome to Indian Country. Her collection of essays, Positively Uncivilized, was selected as the inaugural Raven Chronicles Press Keepers of the Fire Prize for Nonfiction, with local legend Jane Wong calling it a necessary read, reminding us that stories are powerful. Rena Priest.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm not that tall. Aitangan Nisjalacha o Helix and Quanasat Latiakaya Sahwaltanat Sanasnat Chochlamisan. Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you all tonight. This is so amazing. Thank you to Lena and Jodi-Ann for your work and all the musicians who played so far and to the musicians who are playing soon. This has been wonderful. Gosh, wow. And of course, thank you to Wes and to Kristen. It's just a beautiful, beautiful night. And of course, everyone who makes this possible. So this book is full of plenty of hard truths that I could tell tonight. But I'm going to tell some sweet truths because I read this headline the other day. It was in an article posted to the Lifeboat Foundation's blog. And the title is, Organisms Are Musicians, Not Machines. And that was posted on December 3rd. And the opening line, which I guess is the hook, says, the living cell, once thought to be a precise molecular factory, is turning out to be more like an improvising jazz ensemble. So I love that, right? People, we're organisms, all this stuff that's happening in here, not a machine. Music. So this is from the essay in this collection. The essay is the pandemic pages. It's an excerpt from a journal that I kept during the pandemic. And this entry is April 8th, 2020, which apparently was the day that the Democrats announced Joe Biden as their candidate. And we were still living in our first round of this weird, hellish deja vu that we're experiencing right now. And this is... It was also Orwellian, right? So here we go. The birds sang, the proles sang, the party did not sing. This is a line from George Orwell's 1984. Another one that gets me is a line by Russell Baker. We are in the hands of men who make no music and have no dream. I have this chilling realization whenever I turn on the news. So I turn it off and use music as a balm to cheer me. Lately, I want to sing all day. I want to read poems all day. I want to sit and listen to bird song and silence all day long. I've been waiting to write until I felt like I have something to say. I keep thinking that things are so redundant around here, and probably similarly so for everyone else in the world, that I couldn't possibly have much to write worth reading. Then I notice the birds seem to like a loose branch in my tree that bounces when they land on it. They take turns flying to it and bobbing up and down until it stops. It's like a little birdie carnival ride. They love it. I'm at my window watching them when daughter calls. The restaurant where she used to work has offered her a few hours doing a deep clean since the dining room is closed. She's calling to ask if I'll bring her some books and her work shoes. I gather the requested items in a paper bag and deliver them. We hang out like cops in a parking lot, talking to each other from 6 feet away through our rolled down car windows. I wish we had donuts. We talk about how everything is being done remotely. I tell her about a physicist I saw on YouTube who explained that every living thing on Earth is an organic remote data gathering machine. Like highly sophisticated space rovers, we are trillions of perspectives sending Earth's images, sensations, and emotional reactions back to a universal intelligence so that it can better understand itself. Ants send ant perspectives, bees send bee perspectives, the birds send theirs, and you send yours, and I send mine. Are you high? You been smoking pot, Mom? No, I say. The other physicist on the video said he believes that we are not remote information gatherers, but little pieces of the universe expressing itself. So there you go. Researchers and artists have their camps in physics too. I don't realize that my headlights are on, and we talk until my car battery goes dead. Daughter pulls her car around in front of mine, and I hook up the jumper cables, but something isn't right. There's a terrible smell, and then suddenly lots of smoke. Take them off, it's going to explode, daughter screams. For a moment, I'm sure I'm going to die of electrocution, but I decide to risk it and pull the jumper cables off. Shaken, I call Sparky, and he rides his bike to where we're parked. He hooks up the jumper cables correctly, and all is well. When I get home, I turn on some music. I watch the birds and wonder if I'm the universe expressing itself or if I'm sending something new to consider about the nature of music and love. I think both. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who has given us something beautiful to consider about the nature of music and love this evening. Haishka.
Rena Priest. All right. Here to share the first of 3 songs inspired by Positively Uncivilized is another first-timer. Cole Clark was given a guitar by his uncle and has been writing songs since he was 14. Has an EP out called Deadbeat. Lives in Bellingham with cats Suki and Sidekick and dog Picasso. If Cole were in charge of the show writer in the green room refreshments, there would be Mike and Ike's. Cole Clark.
Thank you. I'm Cole. All of these songs have been really amazing so far, by the way. It's great to listen to them. It's great to be a part of it. Yeah, Rena has a great voice in her writing, and yeah, it's such a unique way of looking at things, and it's just such an honor to have this opportunity. And but yeah. Okay. All right, there we go. We first came to the earth, and remember we were the last to come. Shaking, shivering, we emerged, hungry and left with no fur. So the animals lent a hand and left our status to a game, a chance. Opened the door to the gift of life, an offering to life's circular dance. If we were to play the game, we were bound to lose, as this was not our home turf. Then an animal, a bird, yes, probably a bird, came through with its lungs. A song could be heard. It gave a sacrificial death to let us keep our breath. Oh, what a privilege to be inside its nest. So with gratuity we made a pledge to not take more than we need, to not soil our gift with greed. See the circle of life, nowhere in between. How positively civilized. shoes, used carpet to protect his feet. Made the land his kingdom, and all in spite of freedom. The loss of integration is loss of integrity. But there's still hope in nothing. The human spirit's free when all seems lost. Remember the bird that gave its life so selflessly. And there's still hope in something. Human spirit's free when all seems lost. Remember the bird that gave its life so selflessly. Thank you, river. Thank you, seas. Thanks to the animals, and thank you to all the trees. Thank you, love. Thank you, please. Thank you, parent. Positively, when you're always looking forward, remember to dance, remember to dance. 'Cause when your body moves like that, your eyes will catch every glance. How positively, how positively civilized. Thank you.
Cole Clark, welcome to the club. That club, by the way, is there have been over 400 individual musicians who have performed since the first Bushwick show in 2010. That's a number we're pretty proud of. Some late breaking news from the lobby area. We have sold out of Something About Living. Right? That's good news, right? You can find copies of that at Open Books or Elliott Bay. And good to know. If you didn't hear that at home, signed copies at Mom's Bookstore. You can't have mine. Also, with only 2 songs left, we're running out of time to bid on that signed poster. You go to where the poster is in the corner and you write your name down. I'm actually glad you asked how you do that, because this came up last season. This is the important part. You write your name, you write an email address, and then you write a number that's higher than the previous number. Okay, this step is crucial. And we had an incident last year. To the left, and then to the right. Okay, there's several people directing traffic. This is good. I love the organizational spirit that's involved right now. Anyway, yes, that number should go up. So I want to keep things moving, but there's so much that we do and that we're passionate about. I'm going to do lightning round here to tell you a little bit about some of our partner endeavors. So program manager Drea Maryland, who's running slides tonight, I'm going to put you on your toes. We partner with Seattle Arts and Lectures, 3 poetry series events this season. The next is February 5th at Town Hall, the poetry of Asia Monet and music from Amber Flame. Jack Straw Writers Anthology, 12 video episodes of original music inspired by each of those authors. The most recent is episode 5 with writer Nat Nichols and musician Bjorn Watkins. We're partnering with Kirkland Performance Center this year for 3 shows of original music inspired by books. We will also have the authors present at that. February 12th, Kira Jane Buxton's Hollow Kingdom, where the narrator is a foul-mouthed crow from my neighborhood. March 25th, Garth Stein's The Art of Racing in the Rain, and June 23, Travis Baldry's Legends and Lattes. The authors will be there for all of those. Whatcom reads March 13th at the Mount Baker Theater in Bellingham. I know Bellingham has a presence tonight. We did that last year. It was wonderful. The book is Solito by Javier Zamora, and the first set will be original music inspired by that. Tickets for that are free. We also have an education program, Style Songwriting through Youth Literature Education, because as 4th grade teacher Abde Elshafei knows, everything in education is done in acronym. We go into classrooms and libraries. We take books students are reading. We work with them on inspiration and creativity and storytelling. And we have 6 more Mainstage shows to go, including January 10th, right back here, original music inspired by Percival Everett's James. That thing won a Pulitzer Prize. And on February 14th, St. Hallmark's Day, we're going to do original music inspired by Bushwick's first romance novel, Emily Henry's Beach Read. And now, here comes a song. This is Caskey Russell. Thank you for waiting me out. Come on up here. Another first-timer. Caskey Russell has lived in Washington, Oregon, Iowa, Wyoming, and New Zealand. He is a father, professor, musician, and an enrolled member of the Tlingit Nation of Alaska. Caskey is also the author of The Door on the Sea, the first novel in a fantasy trilogy based on Tlingit mythology. Please give a warm first-time Bushwick welcome to Caskey Russell.
All right, thank you. Actually, might move it over to this side, so yeah. Very good. All right, perfect. I should stand up, but I thought, what the hell, I'm going to sit tonight. One of my heroes I'm from Seattle, and one of my heroes I saw in the 90s, John Lee Hooker, he sat on the stage all night, except for the song Boom, Boom, Boom. You guys know that one? Boom, 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 boom. And I thought it was the coolest thing. He just sat there and played his guitar. It was fantastic. I wrote a song inspired by this collection, Positively Uncivilized by Rena Priest. If you haven't read The Miracle of Fishes, one of the first poems in that, it's amazing. It's a sentiment that, as a Tlingit, I felt many, many, many times, the centrality of salmon. This book actually has salmon in it, almost literally. Metaphorically, they're all through that. They're swimming through this book and her collection of poems, but this book in particular. And in my song, I tried to blur the line between salmon and humans. Because to the Lummi, to Tlingit, to the Salish Sea tribes, to the tribes all up and down the Pacific Northwest, salmon are life. Salmon are our relatives and are central to the culture. So in the lyrics, I try to think of personal journeys of the salmon returning to the rivers, and ancestral journeys of salmon returning to their ancestors' homes, but also with people. Our personal journeys returning home and our ancestral journeys returning home. All inspired by this amazing collection that I encourage you to pick up. The song is called River of Years, and in the music I tried to imagine being a salmon and hearing feeling the rain coming in the fall and knowing that it's time, or in August, knowing it's time to head upriver. So the music is full of stops and starts, and kind of imitates the salmon returning home. I usually play in bars. I'm not used to this setting, so if you want to clap along, feel free. It's in 3/4 time. A long house from her past, she stands outside the frame. Strangers live there now, but the ghosts remain, calling her down the river of years. I'm coming homeward, caught in the past, drowned in memories we knew would never last. So throw me a line, I'll swim against the tide. I'm coming home again, just give me more time. Her veins float to the sea through a net of memories. Old voices call to her in the silver of a stream, calling her down the river of years. I'm coming homeward, caught in the past, drowned in memories we knew would never last. So throw me a line, I'll swim against the tide. 'Cause I'm coming home again, just give me more time. The thing about memory is it's both wild and tame. The scars may fade, but the pain remains. Small rituals in our lives to savor and refrain. Some words are lost, but the magic still remains. I'm coming homeward, caught in the past, drowning in memories we knew would never last. So throw me a line, I'll swim against time. 'Cause I'm coming home again, just give me more time. I'm coming homeward, caught in the past, drowned in memories I knew wouldn't last. Throw me a line, swim against time. 'Cause I'm coming home again, just give me more time. Thank you.
Caskey Russell. Oh, you're still plugged in. You're still plugged in. Whoa. Caskey Russell, welcome to the club. All right. We have one more song, and right before that, we have a bunch of people to thank. Can we get a hand for Cameron Newell running sound in the room tonight? Dylan Randolph is running the live stream tech. Our season graphic design comes from Barbie Statman. The Bushwick Book Club Seattle theme song written and performed by Julia Massey. The Bushwick Book Club premise comes courtesy of Susan Huang. Thanks to volunteers Mike, Adam, Madeline, Bridget, Faye, and Scott. 2 of our performers tonight accepted extra volunteer duties to make sure you all found out how to buy books. So we appreciate that. The Bushwick production team is Jeff Larson, Carrie Garvin, Drea Marilyn, Emily Persia, Alicia Baker, and Wes Waddell. Executive Director Jeff Larson has been working overtime right up here, stage handing. Drea Marilyn's in the back running the visuals. Our photographer tonight is Kevin O. Thanks to Jason from Hugo House for running the bar, and also Executive Director Pepe, and that was nice. I bet he heard it. And events coordinator Nat. And I should also mention, by the way, a new tradition we have is if you're a Bushwick member, or if you join tonight, at the end of the show, you can come take a book from the member bookshelf, except you can't take my copies. This happened also, I think the same show where we got bid down. That was a rough one. And what's amazing was that was the members only show last year. You can't take my copies of the 3 featured titles tonight or Kristen's Subduction. Those are it's my book. Paid real money for that, and hopefully you saw a percentage of it. That sounds about right. All right, our last musical performer tonight is another first-timer. Carrie Jennings is a vocalist and flugelhornist whose music is deliberate and sultry, combining soulful horn lines, potent lyrics, and indie singer-songwriter aesthetics. Her performances are both tender and bold, with spellbinding vocals, lush instrumentals, and endearing stage banter. You set a high bar for yourself. She is a storyteller and groove maker, inviting people together to explore the depths of our human experience through song. Carrie Jennings.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful night of art and literature and music and community. I'm so happy to be here, and I just want to thank Rena Priest for the incredible writing. It was such a joy to dive into this collection of essays and poems, and something that really brought me inspiration in my writing was how quickly she got to the heart of things, and how quickly all of the problems and all of the insanity of our world and the craziness that we feel felt so helpfully simple. Not overly simple, but helpfully simple. And I just wanted to read a couple lines that really, really inspired me. One was, I believe singing and dancing are the solution, if not to the world's problems, then at least to our human despair, which I believe is the cause of most of the world's problems. And it just really made me think about being an artist in the world and how so often our work is undervalued and belittled, and really what we're doing is the work that brings people together and the work that heals the suffering that causes the suffering. And to be in a room of so many artists is just so palpable. It's just so incredible. And the other line, you already read this excerpt that was so important to me, and I just wanted to read the second to last line of it. It was about, it was the excerpt from the pandemic series and your conversation, in the parking lot, in the COVID parking lot. And it was, the other physicist on the video said he believes that we are not remote information gatherers, but little pieces of the universe expressing itself. And I felt that so strong, and that what we do as artists really is the work of reminding ourselves, remembering about that connection, and that really that in order to flourish, we have to take care of each other and everyone and the earth, and that the health of the whole is what really matters. So this is my song called The Health of the Whole.
showing its shape. Part of me and part of you, we give and take, we rearrange. All of us can treat what's poisonous if together we're brave to love unafraid. Little pieces of the universe glowing in space. Little pieces of the universe showing its shape. Let our wisest parts chart the course. Let our reverence grow for the health of the whole. 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 For the health of the whole.
Thank you all so much.
Carrie Jennings. You can catch Carrie, Queen of Hearts, on December 20th at the Tractor Tavern, supporting Avery Laborn's album release. Amy will be on the bill for the very next Bushwick Book Club Mainstage show on January 10th. Original music inspired by James. Please keep that going for everyone we heard from tonight. Our curator, Kristen Milliotis Young. Authors Jodi-Ann Burey, Lena, Khalaf, Tuffaha, and Rena Priest. Musicians Jess Pillay, Bridget Quigg, Shaun Crawford, Fae Wiedenhoeft, Intisaar, Abdallah, Abde, Elshafei, Cole Clark, Caskey Russell, and Carrie Jennings. Aeon, you want a poster? Yeah. Members, come get a book. Thank you all. Take care. Be kind. We'll see you soon.
Inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage. It don't matter what your age is, all the ages, right here at the Bushwick Book Club. Inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage.